welcome back to another segment of Manage It Better. I'm Sean Pennington with Solomon IT, and we're your partners in cybersecurity. Today's digital world, phishing attacks are among the biggest threats to your data and your business. And here's a quick question for you. Did you know that 90% of cyber attacks start with a phishing email? That's right, 90% start with a phishing email. So today I'm going to show you a little bit about the phishing before you click and common red flags, easy ways to check in and stay safe with it. So let's get rolling. Some of the basics in phishing is when scammers pretend to be legitimate sources. So they pretend to be your bank, a colleague, a reputable company that you work with on a regular basis. And they trick you into sharing information that you would normally share with somebody that you don't know, or get you to click a malicious link. Now, we could give you visual examples. Bank of America may have an extra A, or may have an Cyrillic A that just looks similar, but not exactly the A that you're looking or expecting. And so we see things like that with lookalike domains. And it's common mistake for people to think that that's a spoofing domain. It's really not spoofing. It's a little bit different. That's when I send out an email from your actual domain name, but I'm using a server that's not authorized to be sending that. That's me spoofing your domain. A lookalike is a domain that's similar, but may have a 1 instead of an L or something to that effect, and an Cyrillic A, which is a different language on a computer, but looks similar, but not quite exact. And so there are things like that that we see that are common red flags. A lot of times you might see grammatical errors, where it has a dear user instead of dear John, little things like that that just don't quite fit. But with AI, these things are getting a whole lot harder to spot. In fact, we've actually tested a legitimate email versus a phishing email, and the AI got it wrong. So you can't just trust AI to be able to see everything, but we can use AI along with multiple other resources. And in fact, that's what our anti-spam, anti-phishing services do, is they use AI along with other indicators, a massive amount of analytics that are really cool for our engineers to look at. But for our clients, these other additional resources help the AI to determine whether something's phishing, or whether it's a junk mail, or if it's a legit email that the user should be looking to see. And it filters out a lot of the stuff that we really don't need to be looking at. Now, occasionally, anti-phishing, anti-spam servers are going to get it wrong. They're going to flag something that is legit and say it's wrong. The nice thing is that if you've got a good service, it's going to alert you, and then you're going to be able to request it to be restored. And a quick MSP is going to get to that email very quickly and release it after authenticating that it is a legitimate email. But like we do, they should not be just blanket releasing it. And you as the user shouldn't just be allowed to release whatever you want, because people make mistakes. You think you're expecting it from John, but it comes from Johnny. Little things like that are what gets us in trouble in business with phishing emails, and gets that first little hook into a business's network. So we want to be careful of the links. We want to be careful of the domains. We also need to be careful of the attachments that are in there. If it's a PDF file and has a link inside of that, if it's a zip file or RAR file, anything that is a compressed file format that has multiple files in it, those are ways that hackers use to get around phishing and spam servers. Now, some of the quick ways to check on this is contact the sender directly using a known official channel. We like to tell people, don't trust the email. Go to Google or wherever your search browser is, and look up that phone number and then call the company directly. If you know who the user is, then call them directly. But don't trust anything in the email if you suspect the email in any way, shape, or form. If you've got an MSP, they're probably more than happy to let you send them the email and say, hey, can you just double check this for me? It seems a little fishy. We're happy to do it. We won't trust anything in the email either. We'll give you good advice on how to proceed, etc. So some of the other tricks is you can always scan some of these things, especially the files, with your antivirus software. They're usually pretty good about picking up on malicious things. Then there's another website called Virus Total that allows for quick scans of files that you upload to those, depending on whether or not you want to trust it. The MSP tie-in here is that usually we offer some type of email security training and some tips, anti-phishing training, but a really good MSP is going to also give you additional cybersecurity beyond the phishing, beyond the spam stuff. Now, real quick recap for things is look for those red flags. Verify before you click and stay vigilant, protect the business. If the business goes under, you're probably not going to be getting a paycheck for a little bit. The economy goes up and down and the hiring goes up and down. So keeping the business you work with or you work for protected is definitely something you want to keep in mind and stay vigilant with. So again, check the attachments, make sure that if you don't trust it, if there's any red flags there, that you contact an administrator or you contact the person who sent it to you. But again, if there's any hesitation, don't trust anything in that email. Go directly to the source and call them through a Yellow Pages search, Google search, MSN, Yahoo, etc. So, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to Solomon. But I'm Sean Pennington. I'm the CEO of Solomon IT. I hope that you have a wonderful week.